So let's begin our first module, Introducing Philosophy. And one of the first questions you're probably going to be asked when you tell people that you're doing a course in philosophy will be, what is philosophy? And truth is, that's not an easy question to answer. If you were studying medicine, history, physics, then people probably wouldn't even ask, what is medicine? What is history? What is physics? Because as soon as you say, I'm studying medicine, people know what you're studying. Or I'm studying history, people know what you're studying. The subject is just there in the title. So it's an easy question to answer. It's not even a question that anybody's going to ask, what is? They might ask you what part of medicine or what period of history, but they won't ask you what it is. When it comes to philosophy, the first question they ask, what is philosophy? So you could give them some definitions. Here's just a variety of kind of random definitions that I just pulled off the internet, quick Google search, and here they are. So the first one is the study of ideas about knowledge, truth, the nature and meaning of life, etc. Or the rational investigation of the truths and principles of being, knowledge, or conduct. Or the study of the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline. Now, I don't know about you, but, take a look at those definitions that are in front of you that I've just read out. Are any of you any the wiser as to what philosophy is from those definitions? Not sure I am, and I've been studying it for 20 years. So fact is, you can give these kinds of very, very general definitions, a study of ideas about knowledge and truth, and they aren't terribly helpful. They don't really tell you what philosophy is in a way that's going to be useful to people, or in a way that's going to allow you to say, okay, so this is a philosophical question. So you can give definitions. Whether they mean anything is highly questionable. But it is worth noting just something at the end here, the final definition, which says that it's the study of the fundamental nature of knowledge, reality, and existence, especially when considered as an academic discipline. Many people use the word philosophy kind of, in general conversation, colloquially, kind of saying my philosophy is, whatever it might be. Like my philosophy is live and let live, for example. Now, when we're talking about philosophy here, it is true, we're talking about it more as an academic discipline. When people just use the word philosophy, throw it about in terms of my philosophy, that doesn't have that much to do with what we're doing. Take what I just mentioned, live and let live. So if you're actually doing philosophy in the academic sense, the kind of thing that we're going to be doing, you'd say, well, what does that mean? Live and let live. I mean, the first word, live, what are you saying there? Are you commanding somebody to live, telling somebody to live? That doesn't make any sense. You're either alive or you're not. You can't really make it happen. So what does that first word mean? Live and let live. What does it mean to let live? Does that mean just don't murder people? Seems like a strange philosophy to have. Now, as soon as we start analyzing that sentence in that kind of detail, we may be beginning to do something that approaches what philosophy is. At the moment, we have these abstract definitions. As I said, I don't think they're helpful. But maybe we could just have a look at what philosophy means. Because the word itself comes from a Greek word, philosophia, meaning love of wisdom. Philosophy, the word is made up of two words. There's philo, or love, and sophia, meaning wisdom. Put them together, philosophia, philosophy, love of wisdom. Now, again, that's not terribly helpful. Medicine is medicine, history is history. Love of wisdom? Love of wisdom doesn't really seem to define a topic or a subject matter. It defines that you love something. It's a passion. So we're not much the wiser, even if we look at the definition of the word, as to what philosophy is. There was a famous philosopher. His name was G.E. Moore, lived from 1873 to 1958 in England, spent most of his career in Cambridge. And apparently, when he was asked, what is philosophy, he would point at his bookshelves and he would say, it's what those books are about. Now, again, not the most useful definition, but actually there might be something to it, because I think the most useful way to start to understand what philosophy is just to dive in and do some philosophical problems. When you do some philosophy, when you start to deal with some of the problems and questions, that's when you'll begin to get a taste for what it actually is. So what we're going to be doing over this coming week are some exercises where you're going to actually get to deal with some philosophical problems. You don't need to have done any philosophy to be able to read them and to be able to give an opinion on them, but just by getting into the mode of looking at these kinds of things and giving your intuitive reactions, maybe you'll get a bit of an idea of what philosophy actually is.